Hey everybody, in this video we are simplifying a quotient involving the square root of -a. This should look similar to the result you would get from quadratic formula if you are familiar, but the problem is even if you can apply the quadratic formula, some people run into trouble simplifying even without imaginary numbers involved. So let's just practice this because it gets even more complicated or more room for error when you have an imaginary number involved. So let's go. When you have an answer that looks like this, now keep in mind this one's just plus, it's not plus minus. It will typically be plus minus if it's from the quadratic formula, of course, but they want us to write it in the standard form of a complex number, a plus bi. So when we're finished, we should have an answer that looks like that. Okay, so some of you might be like, oh, let's reduce that. You cannot do that right now, okay? I mean, could you? I guess. Yes, you technically could as long as you separate and leave the square root of -128 still over 4. You can't cross out the 4 forever and it no longer be under the radical -128. That just isn't how it works. So 128 we can definitely simplify. So 128, -128 is really -1 times, if we know it's 2 to the 7th power, okay? 2 times 2 times 2, 7 times makes 128. If you know your 2 to the powers, it does come in very handy in any math class, right? So the square root, what perfect square is in there is 2 to the 6 because that's 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 3rd. I'm just showing you how my brain works, which means 8 times 8. So 128 is 64 times 2, 8 times 8 times 2. Does that make sense? I hope so. So the square root of 8 times 8 can come out. That means an 8 comes out of the radical. And the square root of that -1 can come out. That becomes I. So when all is said and done, let's do this. So I already cleaned up that background to make room to write. Okay, so that means I will have the -1, 64, and 2 are inside. So 8i comes out, 2 stays in. Comprende? So we have -8 plus 8 imaginary ai square root 2 all over 4. Now, to get this to look a little bit more like a plus bi, we're going to have that part to make the a, the non-imaginary part, and we're going to have this part to make that part. So we're going to reduce. Now remember that 4 on bottom really reduces with both of them, okay? So how do we write our final answer? That's going to be -2 plus, now I would probably write 2i square root 2. So that means that the a equals -2 in this situation. And that means that b equals 2 square root 2 in this situation. The I is next to it if you think of it that way, right? But we write it 2i root 2. Okay, so final answer, all finito, is this part right over here. That's it. So if you get it, got it good, go ahead, put a little thumbs up if you're happy about that. If not, put a thumbs down, comment, question, whatever you need in the comment section, and check the playlist for more videos like this. Adios.